President Biden is seeking to reclaim the narrative around his time in the White House after a rocky August, according to Hill reporter Amy Parnes.
There's not a damn thing we're unable to do in America when we come together. Never, ever have we failed. And we're not going to fail now because of all of you.
After the chaotic removal of U.S. military from Afghanistan and the rise in COVID-19 cases across the country, Biden saw his approval ratings trend downward for the first time in his term. The Real Clear Politics average currently has Biden's approval at 42.5% with a 49.8% disapproval. That's down from the mid-high 50s before last month. We have new Hill-HarrisX presidential approval numbers to dive into. Let's take a look at that.
I look forward to working together to beat this pandemic and keep our economy growing and growing strong.
The poll found 47% of voters approve of Biden in the White House, while 44% disapprove. 9% said neither. This is down from 49% that he had in an August 20 to 21st survey and 55% at the beginning of August. So in this most recent poll, Biden is underwater on fighting terrorism, immigration, and foreign affairs at 47% each, but remains above water on handling the COVID outbreak at 59%, administering the government and the economy at 54%, and stimulating jobs at 51%. Kim, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that there were even a lot of Democrats who didn't really like the withdrawal from Afghanistan, so this doesn't surprise me. They might be still okay with his handling of the COVID crisis and mandates and whatnot, but when it comes to Afghanistan, I think people were feeling a bit blindsided, like many of the people who were left behind. But
and I'm the exact opposite. I don't like his handling of the pandemic anymore because I don't like the mandates. I do largely approve of, we had to get out of Afghanistan. It was going to be messy whenever we did it. And I think some of it's perfectly valid, of course, to criticize how things happened, but it was always going to be bad because being there in the first place was such a grave error, not one Biden made, or he's not primarily responsible for. I guess he was technically made it in that he supported it while he was Obama's vice president, but it actually facilitated him knowing that he had to get us out regardless of what the generals said to him. So public opinion is against him on that, but for my money, it was the right thing to do.
And I would say when we get new Hill-HarrisX data 2 weeks from now, let's say 3 weeks from now, I bet you're going to see him tick up about 3 points. If we continue to see, Delta peter out a little bit, and as the public moves on from Afghanistan, I think people will say, yeah, I do remember not being happy with some of the way that unfolded, but I'm very glad that the war actually ended. And if we continue to see inflation cooling, COVID numbers down, and moving away from Afghanistan with the war being over, I bet you're going to see them tick back up rather than gradually continue to go down. Any predictions from you guys that we can test in 2 and 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
right.
People seem to have a short memory for foreign policy these days. That wasn't the case in the immediate 9/11 and Iraq War era, but now people seem to, I think they do forget, and they move on to more immediate concerns. The state of the pandemic, like there's no, I think there's no difference between the state of the pandemic and Biden's broader approval. It's going to matter, and it's not all under his control either. It's going to matter how people feel about the disease.
Yeah, and Mu and Lambda will have something to say about that too, but thank you everybody for watching What America's Thinking. See you next time.